Hello everyone and welcome back with a very exciting look at something brand new, which is Slaanesh Mortals. Today, not today, but yesterday, they were shown on Warhammer Community and they will be released next week on pre-order as far as I'm aware. So I think now is a great time to have a look at the Warband and what you might want to get. So let's start off with looking at all the units individually, and we'll have a look at their points values and their abilities, and last but not least we're going to check out what kind of list I would recommend bringing. So for the units, first off we've got the Shard Speaker. She's one of the leader models. All of these guys are leader models and all of the ones below are unit models. I'm quite happy with the spread there. Seems like we got a good split between leaders and units and a good range of options. So we got the Shard Speaker for 170 points. She's movement 4, toughness 3, 22 wounds. Not super tough there. However, 22 wounds is not bad, and well, movement 4 isn't that quick. Sadly, she just has the normal magic caster ranged attack, so the damage output is not great. She's not super expensive at 170 points, so it's kind of okay, but not great. Then we've got the Lord of Pain. He's a very different kind of beast. He costs 220 points, so a lot more. Has movement of 4, toughness of 4, 25 wounds, so quite survivable there. He has a range of 2, which is cool. 4 attacks, strength 5, 3, 5 damage. That is ridiculous damage output. 9.4 damage on average. For a 220 point model, that is really good damage. I really like the look of the Lord of Pain. Then we got the Hell Reaver with Spear. The Hell Reaver, of course, is a cavalry option. He costs 235 points, which for a cavalry leader is not even that expensive. Has a movement of 10, toughness 4, 30 wounds. So obviously all cavalry always have a lot of wounds. A range of 2, 4 attacks, strength 4, 2, 4 damage. Now, while that might look low in comparison to the Lord of Pain, it's actually not bad damage output, and more than we're used to from most cavalry options. So I think for 235 points, honestly, this guy's not bad if you want some very high movement on your leader. Then we got the Archer High Tempter. So she's your cheapest leader option for 130 points. So movement of 3, toughness, movement 5, toughness 3, and 16 wounds. So very squishy. You will have to make sure to keep her out of harm's way. Range of 15 with her bow though. 3 attacks, strength 3, 1, 4 damage. That is not a bad range profile for 2.6 damage on average. She's very cheap, so it's justifiable bringing her, I'd say, even though she's not gonna be amazing. Then we got the Slangor Slakehorn. He's your Slangor leader option. 225 points, so relatively expensive, even more expensive than a Lord of Pain. He does have 6-inch movement, which is awesome. Toughness 4 and 30 wounds, so he's more like faster and more survivable than your Lord of Pain is. However, his damage profile is not as good. He has a range of 1, 4 attacks, strength 4, 3, 5 damage as well. So you're losing 1 point of strength and 1 point of range and gaining the extra wounds and movement. The movement almost makes me think it's worth it because the movement is 6 movement is very good. The extra wounds don't matter that much because a Lord of Pain has more range. That means he can keep out of harm's way a bit more. So I think the Slakehorn is only seems more survivable on paper. So in general, I like the Slakehorn. His damage is really good. His movement is very good. But the Lord of Pain just seems like a slight bit better option. We're going to have a look at the abilities, of course, as well. Then we got the Slick Blade Hunter Seeker. So he's basically an upgrade over the Hell Reaver with Spear. 240 points, 5 points more expensive. Movement of 10, toughness 4, 35 wounds. So far the only difference is 5 wounds. And then we have the attack profile is a 2 range, 4 attack, strength 3, 2, 4 damage. So he has lower strength and therefore lower damage output than the Hell Reaver with Spear. and costs more points. I think this guy's quite bad. I would definitely not bring him over the Hellreaver. Then we got the Blissbarb Seeker High Tempter. That's a long name, and it's basically the archer on the Seeker mount. So she costs 220 points. Again, not that expensive for cavalry. Movement 10, toughness 3, 35 wounds, so very survivable again. Even though toughness 3, but 35 wounds will keep her on the table for a while. 15-inch range, 3 attack, strength 3, 1, 4 damage. The issue with this is her damage output is no better than that of the normal archer, and she costs a lot more points, almost 100 points extra. And all you're getting for that is some movement and some wounds. I struggle to find her that good because I think high movement is best when you then can actually use it to engage in melee combat and so on. I think the Blissbarb Seeker is not the best option here. Then we got the Myrmidish Pain Master. He costs 205 points, relatively cheap here in comparison to most of the other leaders. Movement of 4, toughness 5, 25 wounds, so the toughest out of our fighters so far. A range of 1, 4 attack, strength 4, 2, 4 damage. Average kind of damage output 5.4, not bad. Not a bad leader option. However, he kind of pales in comparison to the Simberish Egopomp, whatever that name is. He only costs 200 points. All he loses over his Pain Master friend is 1 point in toughness, so he's moved 4, toughness 4, 25 wounds. However, he does have a range of 2, 4 attacks, strength 5, 2, 4 damage. So he's on average going to deal 1.3 damage more than the Pain Master. And yeah, he's just really, he seems pretty solid. So basically, if you don't have the points for your Lot of Pain, you might want to bring the Egopomp. Also, of course, all of these have unique abilities that we're going to look at in a second, which might influence your advantage. Well, that's all our leader options, and then let's go to the units. First off, we've got Hellstriders. So the Hellstrider with Spear costs 145 points. Its movement of 10, toughness 4, 20 wounds. Actually, the same goes for the Hellstrider Scourge. The difference, of course, is the weapon loadout. The Spear is a range of 2, 3 attack, strength 3, 1, 4 damage. That's a relatively pitiful 2.6 damage for a 145 point model. Not that great. However, you do get a lot of movement. The Scourge variant is a range of 3, so even higher range, which is nice, especially on cavalry, because it might allow you to punch someone who's on a building above you, basically. Give you 4 attacks, strength 3, 1, 3 damage. For 2.7 damage on average. Slightly better damage because of the 4 attacks. I don't see any reason not to bring the Hellstrider with Scourge, because obviously otherwise his profile is the same as the Spear, and his damage and weapon are just better, so definitely go for the Scourge option there. Then we got the Blissbarb Archer. She's our Chaff tier unit. So the only Chaff tier we have here is a ranged one. That is very interesting and something we don't commonly see in many warbands. She costs 80 points, so she's not super cheap. Movement 5, toughness 3, and 8 wounds, so of course quite squishy. However, movement 5 is nice, that is very fast, or relatively fast. A range of 15, 2 attack, strength 3, 1, 3 damage for 1.4 damage on average. That's not a lot, however, they are not that expensive, and yeah, I mean, at least it's good that she has this range. It will keep her out of harm's way. I think the Blissbarb Archer is not bad. She'll definitely have to be part of many of your warbands, because you will need those bodies, like the amount of activations and so on is quite important, so you will want some Blissbarb Archers. And they will definitely be able to support with some ranged poke. Then we've got the Slangor. He's 165 points, movement 6, toughness 4, 20 wounds. Has a range of 1, 4 attack, strength 4, 2, 5 damage. So his damage output is quite nice with 6.0 on average. He's not that expensive either, and 6-inch move is in the higher tier of movement. Obviously can't compete with your cavalry options, but he is very good damage output, which differentiates him from the cavalry options, of course. Then we got our Slick Blade Seeker. As I said, he's kind of like this Hell Strider, just upgraded. However, what I don't understand here is he costs 180 points, so that's 35 points more than the Hell Strider. He has a movement of 10, toughness 4, 20 wounds, just like the Hell Strider. He has a range of 2, 3 attacks, strength 3, 2, 4 damage. So the only thing that's different about the Slick Blade Seeker in comparison to the Hell Strider, the Spear, is that he has 1 more damage on his base damage. But at a strength of 3, that's hardly gonna matter. He's at 3.1 damage on average, whereas the Spear is at 2.6 and your Scourge is at 2.7 even. So you're getting a very, very minor damage upgrade for 35 points. That seems so bad, and I have no idea how that balancing came to pass. Makes no sense to me at all. So absolutely do not bring the Slick Blade Seeker. Then we got the Bliss Barb Seeker, who's 165 points, so considerably cheaper again at least. Movement 10, toughness 3, 25 wounds. No idea why her wounds is higher than that of the others. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Range of 15, 2 attack, strength 3, 1, 3. So basically an archer on horseback again. Again, I kind of struggle with seeing what kind of role she's going to fulfill, because do you need 25 wounds on an archer? Do you need movement 10? You can already shoot anywhere, and movement 5 is really not bad on your standard archers, and you're paying more than double the price, so I don't know. I don't like the Blissbark Seeker much. Then we got the Myrmidish Painbringer, so this is our elite tier infantry now. We got the Myrmidish Painbringer, 140 points, quite expensive. Movement 4, toughness 5, 15 wounds, so he's very survivable for a elite tier model. However, 140 points is quite pricey as well. A range of 1, 4 attacks, strength 3, 2, 4 damage. That's not a bad damage output, although his strength is a bit low. 4.1 damage on average, though not bad. Then we got the Simbarish. We got 3 variants of these. We got the Blade, the Lash, and the Cleaver options. The Blades cost 130 points, have movement 4, toughness 4, and 15 wounds, so you're dropping 1 point of toughness compared to the Myrmidish. Already 10 points cheaper again though. And then you have a range of 1, 4 attack, strength 4, so better than that of the Myrmidish, and 2, 4 damage. So here again we can see the weird thing that Games Workshop does, where it values toughness over everything else, because these guys are exactly the same, only that they swap 1 point of toughness for 1 point of strength. However, the Painbringer costs 10 points more. It really doesn't make any sense. And yeah, so I definitely prefer the Simbarish over the Painbringer. Then we got the Simbarish with Lash. He's considerably cheaper with 115 points, so you're dropping 15 points there. Has the same movement 4, toughness 4, and 15 wounds. A range of 3, 4 attacks, strength 3, 1, 4 damage though. So his damage output is obviously way lower than that of the Simbarish with Blades. You're losing 2 points of damage. However, you do get that extra range and 15 points cost reduction. So not bad, but I kind of prefer the Blades. Now we got the Cleaver option. He's movement 4, toughness 4, and 15 wounds. He costs also 130 points, just like the Blades option. He has a range of 1, 3 attacks, less than the Blades, strength 5, which is nice, that's more than the Blades guy, and 2, 4 damage. Puts him on an average that's lower than that of the Blades though. Let's see if we change the enemy's toughness here, what that changes. So let's highlight these for a second. Let's see what happens here. So say we're fighting a toughness 3 enemy. Obviously your Blades is going to be a lot better, because Strength 4 is all you need against Toughness 3 to be hitting on 3s. You don't need the Strength 5, so you have no benefit out of the Cleaver if you're fighting Strength 3 Warbands, and you can see there's a massive damage difference there. And now let's compare it to the fight against Toughness 5, and there we can see that the Cleaver kind of gets closer to the blades, but still doesn't win out against the blades in terms of average damage. So therefore it's very clear that there's no reason to ever bring the Cleaver, because against all kinds of toughness opponents he's not bringing you any benefits, so therefore stick to the blades. Or the Lash if you want to, but yeah, the blades is not gonna be bad. Anyways guys, let's have a look at the points values. So we have our Shard Speaker, obviously not great point value. She's a mage, nothing else to be expected. The Lot of Pain, as I said, very good points value for his damage output, crazy damage output there. Quite survivable as well, he's not bad. Then we got all our Hell Reavers and High Tempters, well, and the Sickle Blade is kind of the same. All melee cavalry, of course, is not gonna be amazing. If any of those, I would bring the Hell Reaver with the Spear, because he's just kind of the best option there. Then we got the Slaanesh. He's in the average damage tier. 7.4 is really good, but he costs quite a bit of points as well. However, do keep in mind he has good movement. The Bliss Barb Seeker, well, we're not surprised that she is bad, because her ranged attack 2.6 damage is just not great, and she costs a lot of points, so leave her at home, I'd say. And then we got the Myrmidish Painmaster and the Egopomp, and of course they are pretty good for their points values. The Painmaster being slightly better in terms of survivability, but of course you do get that sweet damage buff from the Egopomp, so I would recommend him. Then we got the Hellstriders, both of them obviously not great damage per point value. Same goes for the Bliss Barb Archer. Again, it's not surprising, because she is a very, she's 80 points and a ranged option. Ranged options tend to be in this kind of red-ish tier here in the 0.2. So that's fine. I think she could have cost 75 points instead of 80. That would have been a bit better, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Then we got the Slaanesh. He's very nice damage output for his points value. Also very good movement. I think the Slaanesh is a great model. Then we got the Slick Blade. As I said, don't bother with him. Same goes for the Bliss Barb Seeker. Then we got the Myrmidish Painbringer, of course. As you can see, his survivability is slightly higher than that of his Symbarish friends. So yeah, the Myrmidish, the more survivable option, the Symbarish, the more damage heavy options, with the Blades one certainly the best in the bunch. What kinds of abilities do we have then? Well, we have a double for everyone, which is adding half the value to the movement of your next move. It's not bad. It's really not bad. It's gonna allow your majority of movement 4 fighters to do some serious movement. So your Symbarish, Myrmidish, all of those are movement 4s. Many of your leader options, so your Lot of Pain, for example, obviously your Symbarish, Egopomp, and so on, they're all movement 4. So having this double to buff their movement is quite good. Then we have something that's weird about this Warband is that we only have one double, and all other abilities are triples. We get a 1 triple for the Myrmidish, which is adding 1 to the damage for hits and crits. So this is for your Myrmidish Painbringer. It's not a bad ability in general, but some Warbands get it on a double, and it's definitely worth more on a double than it is on a triple. I feel on a triple you're never going to use that, so not that great. You're probably better off using Onslaught on a double, although it will yield a bit less damage than this triple. Doubles just come much cheaper. Then we got a triple for the Slaanesh, which is basically if you're within 6 inches of an enemy, you may make a bonus move action that has to finish closer to that enemy. I think that's pretty good. A triple for a free move action is quite good, and it will allow you to make the most of your movement and then really like punch more than you otherwise could. Again, with the 6-inch move the Slaangors have, that's gonna be quite useful. Then we have a triple for all the melee cavalry, which is a normal charging ability, so that's for your health striders with spear and scourge and your slick blades. Yeah, nothing more to be said there. Then we have a triple for the archers, which is adding half the value of the ability to your attack characteristic for your next attack action. We've seen this ability before. It's the same that, for example, the Bone Splitters get, so it's not super out there. Yeah, it's not bad. You might use it at some point, but again, with it being a triple, it's going to be rare. And we have a very cool quad for the Simbarish. So the Simbarish, when you use that quad, you basically get Rampage, so you get a free move and a free attack action. And on top of that, whenever you kill an enemy, you get a bonus move or bonus attack action. So that means if you can use your quad, your Rampage, to get into a group of enemies and then kill one, you get a bonus attack action. If you kill another one, you get another bonus attack action. There doesn't seem to be any limitation on this keeping this going basically forever until you don't kill anyone, of course. With someone high damage like the Simbarish with blades, that can be a very potent, very powerful ability. And of course that's what kind of makes the Simbarish Agapomp seem like a very juicy leader option, because with 6.7 damage output he's going to kill stuff. And if you rampage him in somewhere, kill something and then can keep going, that's gonna be very, very powerful. So yeah, quite cool, very cool stuff there. What kind of leaders abilities do we have then? Well, we only have 3. One that is a double that everyone gets, which is basically if you kill one enemy, you get a bonus move or attack action. It's not bad, it's not that great either. Simply for the reason that if you want to use this, of course, you can't use another ability, so you're foregoing Onslaught, for example, which might guarantee you a kill or make it more likely that you kill someone. So it's always a gamble to hope that you kill something and then be able to use this double. However, on someone like the Lord of Pain, who deals 9.4 damage on average, that's gonna be great. He's going to kill stuff, and then you can easily get this off. Then we got a triple for our Shard Speaker, and that is reducing the attack characteristic of every enemy around her by within 6 inches by 1. So it's gonna be good, especially against low attack warbands. However, the issue is she's a purely ranged focused leader who doesn't want to be in combat, and 6 inches is not that big a bubble, so you'll have to be kind of in the thick of things to really make use of that, which I think is a bit of an issue. So that's my one gripe with this. And then we got a triple for the Lord of Pain, which is adding the value of the attack of the ability to your melee strength for all your friends within 6 inches. Pretty powerful. I personally prefer things that buff attacks. However, adding the value basically means that everyone is going to be hitting on 3s, because even if you are rolling double 2, then all of your guys will be strength 5 or above. So a triple 2, sorry. So it just seems unlikely that anything is going to to not be hitting on 3s. So I think this is actually a pretty good one, especially if you can if you're fighting like high toughness warbands, if you're fighting what's they called, iron golems, if you're fighting stormcast and so on. That can be quite useful, especially if you're going with some of your more elite options who have 2 damage um, on the lower on the normal hit. That's gonna be pretty good. That's gonna deal some hefty damage. So that's really the overview of all your options there. So let's have a look of what I would bring. I would not go with Shard Speaker. I think she doesn't really add a lot apart from her triple, and that isn't that great either. So I'd personally go with a lot of pain, although I understand if you want to go Ego Pomp. Those are basically the 2 best options in my opinion. Then I'd bring 3 Bliss Barb Archers because you need some bodies and some relatively cheap bodies. Also, that will give you a lot of like some shooting support just to poke down enemies, shoot at some weak ones, or shoot down someone who has only a very few wounds remaining. It's gonna deal some damage. Then you got a Slango, because I think having some movement 6 is certainly good. They are quite expensive, but they have very good profiles to boot, so I think the Slango is certainly a good choice. And then I'd bring 2 of the Symbarish with blades and 1 Symbarish with a lash. He's basically because of points. As you can see, we're exactly at 1,000 points there, so couldn't fit in another blade guy. But 2 Symbarish with blades, that's gonna give you plenty of opportunity to use your triple for as your quad if you ever get it. And these guys are going to cut through stuff. And your lash is not bad either. 3-inch attack range can be very good. And again, you do also have the Slango for that, lots of movement. Don't forget he has a triple that can give him a bonus move as well. So I think this is a quite well-rounded warband. You do get a lot of punching power. This is a very, very punchy warband. 8 models is not bad. Yeah, I think this is a cool list that I would love to try. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think, and see you in the next one.